Anyway, the goal today or tonight is for folks who have not been using LoTW, who don't know what LoTW is, to help you through the steps to make LoTW run for you. There are a lot of side roads, there are a lot of rabbit trails we can go down on all the little bits and pieces down on the side. I think tonight we're going to really try to focus on just the basics of how do I load this software and make it run at my house. Toward the end, if we have time, we will look at some of the little rabbit trails that might be of interest. And at the end, we're going to look at how you actually use this with the N3FJP Amateur Contact Log Program. Remember that my ears are not the best in the world, so holler louder than you might otherwise if you have a question. We want to understand the steps to load and set up. And I did this with Tommy, what, a year ago? 6, 8 months? Somewhere 8 to 10 months ago. I sort of got some stuff put together for him, and I used what he had given me as or what I had given him as sort of the basis to start putting this together. So what I want to do is show you how to do this. I sort of gave Tommy a fish. I hope I can show all of you how to fish, and you can catch your own fish called LoTW. The first thing we want to do is go to the Quickstart guide, and this is if you go on the ARRL website and find the LoTW page, you can find the LoTW help. And this is what you can come to. The overview and tutorial is a slideshow that kind of gives the real kind of high-level overview. We're going to run through this sort of quick, and then we're going to come back and go through a little more detail on this. LoTW stands for Logbook of the World. Logbook of the World, and I'll call it as a file cabinet with all the log records of everybody that's a member, and the file cabinet. When I talked with Tommy, and Tommy and I both submit our log entry to LoTW, they match, and the results is a QSL that's confirmed for both of us, and that can be used for a ARRL award credit. DXCC, work your 100 DX countries, worked all states. Tommy has a couple of those recently obtained, and I meant to call and tell you to bring those, and I forgot to. So you could just say, you know, this is one of the things you can get out of this. It can accommodate any way you want to use it. Operate from home, portable, mobile, maritime, QSL managers, DXpeditions. It can be set up to process those logs. Is LoTW secure? All of the QSL records must be digitally signed using a digital certificate obtained from the ARRL. We're going to talk about that shortly. The LoTW uses software called TQSL. That stands for Trusted QSL. That software is free. It will work on Windows, it will work on the Mac, and it will work on the Linux platform. Once again, it's free. You don't have to be a member of the ARRL. You can update your logs or upload your logs and view the data anytime with no charge at all. When you apply for awards, there is the standard fee that's there if you're using your cards for the awards or any other method of getting the approved documentation for the award. The charge is the same, whatever the method.
Steve, do you not have to be a member of the ARRL to register and get on LoTW? No.
Right there.
No.
Membership in ARRL is not required.
Otherwise, around the world, they wouldn't be able to input into it.
So the question begs itself, why are so many, especially DX,
I can't answer that question.
are not registered? I don't understand.
I can.
Please.
The reason why a lot of the DX don't use it is because, first of all, the cost of their internet is outrageously high in a lot of the third world countries.
If it's available.
If it's available.
I see.
Particularly you get some of these island countries, they're strictly dependent on satellite. And satellite time's super expensive, therefore data is virtually non-existent.
Makes sense.
All right.
Thought about that.
And they like getting green stamps.
Yeah, they like
That's
Yep.
probably more important than the other.
All right, so the next question. If Tommy and I have confirmed our QSO, we don't need to send each other a QSL card to confirm that QSO. LoTW does not replace QSL card collecting. The ARRL QSL Bureau is still a member benefit. Relative to QSL cards, LoTW saves money and time. You don't have to buy postage, you don't have to pay for the cards to be printed, you don't have to wait on the other guy to send them. If Tommy and I make that QSO, and we both upload our data, normally within 2 to 5 minutes, that contact is confirmed for both of us. So it's, figuratively speaking, it's instantaneous. How's LoTW different from EQSL and the other online services? It is, I'll sum this up in short, sweet summary. It is way more secure than they are. There's enough interaction here with the security keys that it is not going to be compromised. I have no warm, fuzzy feeling about any of the other electronic QSL, especially the EQSL. I get emails all the time fishing for contacts from users of that. So what can I do with LoTW? Was there a question? Okay. What can I do with LoTW? I can apply for awards, I can track DXCC credits, I can view the matrix of what I have worked and what I need to work, I can track worked all states credits, search for QSOs and QSLs with different people that I have in my log. How do I get started? I load PQSL. It's free to download and use. It's downloadable from the website. It works with all supported versions of Windows. It works on Larry's Mac. And it works on Lee's Linux box. It automatically checks for updates. It will notify you if there's an update and the software or the configuration files. uses a standard window installer. Once you install it, the next step, and if you look at your flow chart right here, the next step is the Callsign Certificates. This is the first part of the security process. Why do I need TQSL software? For the question they had. What's a Callsign certificate? Why do I need this to send my logs to LoTW? Well, I think we're going to answer those questions here in the next few slides. TQSL provides the trusted files that Logbook of the World will accept. The files are created by the TQSL software. The TQSL software uses the Callsign certificate. If you think electronic key, that's basically what that is. We'll talk about these three type files, and the format of these files, you see this is the extension, TQ5 file. My TQ5 file would be K4ELI.TQ5. The response to that would be K4ELI.TQ6. The signed log file would be K4ELI.TQ8. So if you lock the file with your key, it's like putting it in a lockbox to send it. TQSL is the software that locks it and sends it to LoTW. That's why the icon is the key. The Callsign certificate encrypts the log file and acts as the lock. When your lock file is received at the LoTW, they use the same key. They have a copy of it. You'll see in this process that they will send you this key. And the file on both ends uses that same key. They unlock it and load the information into the logbook. So this is, as it says, very simplified illustration of the public key, private key security for that. To continue on, the next step is to request the Callsign certificate. And I don't know if you can see, this is the TQSL screen, and the second tab, or the third tab, is the Callsign certificate. This is just filling out the form, Callsign, DXCC entry, that for us is the United States, name, address, city, state, the stuff that you would normally expect, and your email address. When you fill that out, TQSL will say, do you want me to go ahead and send this request in? Click yes. It goes into the ARRA. Once you do that, a day, 2, 3 days later, you will get the response back. The first part of that response is goes along with your request there. The key that was part of the request, which is the TQ5 file, is required to unlock the TQ6 response. We'll talk more about that, and it'll make a little more sense in another pass through this with a little greater detail. Basically what it takes is the file that you sent and the file that they send back. They go together to make the key. This sending the request and accepting must be performed from the same computer. Can you use this only on one computer? No. There is backup and restore utilities such that you can back that file up and restore it on another computer. Strong recommendation to do that as soon as you get it set up. If this computer blows up, you've got it backed up to a thumb drive. You just plug the thumb drive in the other computer, you start TQSL, tell it to restore. You're back in business. You look like you had a question.
This is only after you've done the whole process.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna, like I said, this is kind of just hitting the real high level and it's leaving out a lot of detail. We're gonna go back through some of the detail.
I'd like to mention on that last slide, this is very important that you do this at this time, because if your hard drive crashes and you try and go and restore it later, forget it. Tell you new computer, start over.
Yeah. It's
important to do this step now.
It's a pretty important thing. So I have struggled with a computer that died. I managed to recover enough to get it running again, but it wasn't pretty for a while. This would have been a lot easier than what I had to go through. Back up and restore. There's the TQSL. I think this is under File, the first tab there. And we're going to see this in a little bit bigger and more readable format. But I hear something about receiving a postcard in the mail. When you request the Callsign certificate, you're requesting a key. The request is authenticated before sending the key. If you're creating the new account, that's the only time you will see this authentication. U.S. operators, once they send the file in requesting the certificate, you will receive a postcard mailed to your address listed in the FCC database. This is part of the security process where they're going to send this back to the official FCC address. If you don't have that address as your current address, you've got to fix that with the FCC before you will get this postcard.
I have the postcards for both my wife and I at our current address, and we are now moving. Now, am I going to have to resubmit 2 new postcards?
No. Just take those postcards and do what we're going to talk about next for where you are.
But that's not where we're going to be when we set up.
Yeah, but that's not wrong.
We'll talk about that later. That's a different process on where I live. So the next thing that's going to happen, I've sent I want to send that in. I get a postcard and I looked in my file. I thought I had dropped the postcard in and I couldn't find it, so I must have dropped it in the round file, because once you use it, it's no longer valid anyway. The postcard has a number on it and instructions, and this doesn't show it right here. But you go on the TQSL and it tells you where on there, which option to pick, and it says enter the number from your postcard. When you do that, it goes back through the process, and at that point in time, they will send you an email with your LoTW username and password. In most cases, that's your call sign and a 6-character numerical, alphanumerical 6-character password.
Steve, correct me if I'm mistaken, but that is not the same password that you register on LoTW, as I recall.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes. It is. That last email after the green card password is one and done in the middle of the process. It is not the password you finish with. When you get your email that says your username and your password is. When you, so we have, in this real high level brush, we've passed through that piece of the process. I've got a lot more detail to look at it.
You handed out a little sheet earlier and it shows a password right here.
Yep.
You got it by the mail. So we're at this point right now where it's going into your generator.
You have, we have sent off, we've requested the certificate.
Right.
It's gone to the ARRL.
Right.
You've
Yep.
got your postcard.
Right.
You take that password.
Right. Now that's not is that the password you're talking about?
No.
You take that password and you put it in right there,
Okay.
and you can take that card and drop it in the trash can.
Okay.
That goes back to ARRL, and they use this confirmation piece that says he is who he says he is, getting his mail at the address the FCC says he's getting mail at. And at that time, they create, in the blue block right here, they create your username password combination that you use with LoTW.
Okay.
The other part of the LoTW process is station locations. TQSL also adds your geographic information to the trusted file. Station locations are also associated with your certificate. Geographical information, states, countries, counties, provinces, grid squares, CQ, ITU zones, islands on the air, etc., etc. You can make as many station locations as needed to accommodate your operations. John, this is what you will do. You will have a station location for where you currently live, and you will have a separate station location for the Carroll County location. Quick recap, LoTW only accepts the trusted files that are created by the TQSL software. The Callsign certificate request and acceptance must be performed on the same computer. Geographic information controlled are managed through the station locations. The software and the configurations can be backed up and restored on another computer. The TQ8 file is the encrypted log file that actually gets uploaded, to LoTW. Here we're talking about TQSL creating this and uploading it. Those using the N3FJP logging program, that process is done in the logging program. And for the remainder of our discussion, I'm not going to talk about the TQSL. I've never loaded a file this way. I'm quite sure I can. The directions are pretty straightforward, but the logging program does it way easier than going through this process. And pretty much I think all the programs that are out there that you would normally use for logging will do the same thing. So we'll look right here, right quick. The information in your TQ8 file that goes in, and this is the only pieces of information that goes to LoTW. The call sign of the station worked, the date, the time, the band, and the mode. So basically, it's a pretty bare bones piece of, or set of data that goes. The geographic location is added from your station location file, and these are the items that will go there. So there is the step one, first part of the Quickstart, or the overview and tutorial. Let's put it that way. Now then, to get started. And let me go back and show you, this was the 56, 59 page thing was the first tab right there. We go into the Quick Start. When you click on that one, you get the 6 steps. This is where, find my notes right here so I can be sure I do the stuff that I wanted to. Step one right here is to download and install the software. As it uses the free software TQSL, it works with Windows, Mac, Linux, If you're using anti-spyware, Bitdefender, Kaspersky, or others, you may have to configure it to let TQSL run. Download. Let's see, download here, go now. We want to download for Windows. It will download this file, puts a 2 right there because I already had it a couple of more times, and there's another one hanging off out here somewhere. We click on it, close this. Go through the standard Windows startup. I already have it loaded. It doesn't give me the opportunity to load it here. It lets me repair it. It lets me remove it. It says that I already have it. So what I do here is I cancel. Yeah, I want to cancel the installation. Finish. So I'll start it here. I have no Callsign certificate on this computer. Let's request one. Callsign, DXCC entry. And here you go down to the bottom and find wherever we are, right there. Date of the first QSO you made or will make using this Callsign. The date that goes in here for you is today. The day you first used your Callsign. For John, it's the day you got W4TXA and made that first call, or the day you got it. That would be the date to put that.
Not W9TXA?
You create another certificate for that with a different set of dates. My focus today is where you are today. We're going to talk about some of the other things that cover some of those type questions, but let's get W4TXA working on here first.
If I can just add, when I first moved out here, I registered N6BBH, which was my call in California. Then I also registered N6BBH /4. And finally, when I got my call, my new call, K4BBH. So I have 3 certificates. So I was able to get confirmation on all those 3 call signs.
One of the things that I did, because I didn't know any better, and I will tell you, don't do it. for your current call, is I put a date of the last QSO I thought I might make on that. And I think the date on my certificate's 2021. I plan on being around and operating longer than that. So I think somewhere I saw going through this 90 days before whatever day in 2021, I will have to request a new Callsign certificate that won't have a last QSO date on it, because now I know better. I do want to back up, because I'm not sure that we will see it anywhere else. When you install TQSL, there is a strong recommendation by a lot of the users that you not install that in your programs or programs 86 standard memories program install directories. I've seen some references where people have taken and in the C drive root directory, they have created a directory that was, for me, it would be K4ELI-LOTW or some, whatever you want to name it, and install this stuff in that directory, because there are permissions that are involved in the program directories that sometimes can cause an issue. I did mine in the program directories when all the defaults back there, and have not had any issues that I'm aware of. But if you're going to reinstall it, put it in its own directory, not in the program directories. Well, let's see what next does for me here. Okay. Won't do anything without a valid call sign. But when you do this, and you click on next, it will go through the rest of the process to create, you'll have to answer the geographic questions that we saw on that slide. To get your call sign certificate.
So you're in that, right now, you're in the block just below, in the second block on your diagram there.
Yes,
Okay.
that would be that one.
Request call sign certificate is
Yeah.
what it says. Okay.
So, now you go through the rest of that, and it takes care of that. Here is the file. Here is the backup, all of the stuff, restore all of the stuff. So that's where you go for the backup and the rescue. The station locations, let's go here first. Load the call sign, request a new one. So once you get one, this is where you would go, John, to put your W9 call in, and for that you have some finite dates. You would put a start date and you would put an end date. For example, what I did here, I have two certificates. I have the WB4AJT, and I went back on that one and I put the start date at, as best I could tell, when I actually got that call. And there's a question on that event because I was WN4AJT. And during that 2-year period, they dropped the end calls and went ahead and made novices WB4AJT. I have that license document where that was done. There is no date on that document. Really. I've looked at it and looked at it. But anyway, I went back and I picked a date. So this is when it started. And the day I got K4ELI was the end date for that. So I have a certificate that does have a valid start and end date. K4ELI shouldn't have an end date.
Steve?
Yes,
I have one question. John, in your case, your W-9 call is no longer active, correct? So why bother registering with LoTW? You're not expecting to get QSL.
No.
Then-
is he going to load
It's log.
his log in N3 FJP
I doubt it. First of all, I'd have to find it.
and send it to LoTW?
Okay, so.
I'm working on WB4 AJT logs, and I intend to send them to
Okay.
LoTW.
Okay, but in his case, it's somewhat irrelevant,
Why?
because he's not interested in getting confirmation on QSLs or QSOs from that era. Using that code.
1958, half those people are dead.
That's what I'm saying, so therefore it's irrelevant.
But if you have a log, you could enter
could,
that
you could.
log under W-9.
You could recreate the logs in like Steve is doing.
I've been doing that too.
Yeah, so see, in my case, I didn't, yeah.
All right, let's move on. Time's moving on us here. From this, the thing we want to do here is go to the help and display documentation. This is a kind of a index, for lack of a better term, for the documentation that I have in that Word document. I'm going the Word document that was up there to start with, I'm going to send it to Larry to put on the website. And actually, I want to go back to that right now before I go here. This information is in here in 3 or 4 different locations. This one I like the best, and it's why I dropped it in the Word document we wanted to run across. Because it'll go out there and it will give you what you need to get this running. Talks about it's what the application is, what it does, how it sends the stuff in. To digitally sign requires you to present the Callsign Certificate. TQSL lets you define and name station locations that specify your Callsign certificates. The documentation is available in the help menus, display documentation. We just did that. The information in this Quickstart guide is a subset of data from that documentation. What I did for Tommy, I didn't find this, but what I did for Tommy and for me when I was helping him get loaded is I went in that help document there and I hit every one of the little highlighted bullets and printed that page off. Some of them 1 page, some of them 2 pages, some of them 3 pages. Made a full-blown book that was our handbook for how to do this. This is a condensed version. We'll kind of spin through here. Install it, download and execute. We have seen that. The installer makes it accessible by the Windows start menu unless you use a different menu. And I think that really means put it in a different location, like I talked about. The Mac, Linux information.
They just work.
What's that?
They just work.
Yeah.
So you're back in that first box up here at the top on your little chart now again, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
We're not updating an existing, we're installing for the first time So when you start, you have no call signs, you want to choose one, yes. When prompted, enter your present call sign without any portable identifiers. QSO date to begin with. For US call signs, your mailing address must match. You will be prompted to specify a password. This password, and this was kind of confusing, and I fortunately made the right choice here when I went through it the first time. If you're on a shared computer, if you're in, and I guess I can't imagine where any of us would use that, unless we were working in the radio club and 10 people are going to use this login computer with their call sign. And in that case, you would want a password on the stuff that was yours.
Well, that would be,
For your-
even if you
for
were
your
with a
home.
family where you got a bunch of kids even gonna be on there, they would wanna have a password, so only you're gonna be involved with that. Because otherwise they might get in there.
Do you
and
have a
start
house full of
messing
grandkids?
around. Oh, yeah, and they know how to operate it too.
I don't have any reason to have a password on mine.
Yeah.
The issue with this particular password is every time you finish a day's activity in LOT or in ACL and you say, send today's contacts to LOTW, you got to put this password in every time because it's in addition to the LOTW password login. So when you get that question, think long and hard about that and know that that's a password you're going to type in every time, every day you enter a contact.
How big does the password have to be?
I don't remember. I didn't put one in.
Has to be minimum 8, and it's a pain in the butt, because I do that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Some password requirements are,
Cryptic.
The fact that it asks you when you say send it to LOTW, and when I send it to LOTW in a second, it's done. When Chuck says send it to LOTW, there's a block pops up there, and he's got to type a password in.
Not anymore, I'm quite sure it's
I haven't done that yet.
You
but I'm
fixed
gonna do
that.
It's a pain in the neck every time you upload.
That's right.
So you've done that too.
Yeah, so I just don't want to do another.
So when you're filling this request out, choose unsigned. If your computer is connected to the internet, TQSL will offer to submit your certificate request. I don't know of any reason to say no. If you say no, it will save a TQ5 file, which is the same thing that it sends for you. And then you have to attach that file to an email to LOTW-logs at ARRA or upload it by the web to this website.
That would be if your computer wasn't on the internet and you
Yeah.
saved it to a thumb drive and
Yeah,
to another computer and emailed it.
that would be about the only scenario there. If you're a U.S. licensee, the next thing that happens is you receive that postcard over to the right-hand blue box and down to the postcard. When, and this is a pretty biggie right here, when you send the Callsign certificate request, there will be an icon pop up in that TQSL box that has those 4 menu items across the top. When you get after the postcard, when it comes back right here, the email that you get has executable that you click on, and it combines the file that it sent along with that email and the file you created in the call sign request. to create your actual Callsign certificate. That's the security parts of all of that.
Well, that's where it's, you're entering the password they're specifying in that box.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Callsign certificate will arrive as a file with a TQ6 suffix.
Extension.
You must, with the extension, you accept on the same computer you generated the request, you accept the certificate. You double click the email attachment and it will launch TQSL and it will load that, it will see that. Normally it'll just load. I think I've heard somebody that had to save the TQ6 file and then go through the Callsign certificate menu to load it from the file command and go pointed at that file in that direction. At this time, the certificate will appear on the TQSL tabs with the yellow metal icon to prove that it's valid. When you get that, this is when you back the puppy up. We looked at that just before. When you get that done, if you need additional Callsign certificates to get rid of the password or to go back to previous history of your operating, you go back through the process. We're going to skip the log files because the logging software does that. Define station location in the station locations, and you can't do this till you have a certificate. It's the reason I couldn't do that a while ago. Add station location dialog, the boxes come up like you have seen, straightforward. Dave might have a word or two to say here. Your normal operating place would be home. For John, it might be for the first one, it might be old home for the current location and just home for the new location. And I'm going to talk a minute about how y'all can use the same computer.
Okay.
Because I know John has had that question and we've talked about it. I can show you how that will work. To digitally sign and submit a log, we'll do that from the logging program. Visit Logbook of the World website at this location to view your submitted QSOs, confirmed QSOs, and apply for award credits. You can navigate there from the TQSL stuff. There is the help. I think this document pretty well answers the questions looking at the time. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start, and we'll go down here and kind of look at it. I'm going to go down and go through the N3FJP logging program and how it uses this information. Then we'll come back and look in the LoTW just a little bit, because this is the other half of why you really want to get what we've talked about done. This is a copy of my log from through January the 25th. When you get in here, you go into e-logs, you go to LoTW. Let's see what I can find right here. Let's go back to the flow chart a second. Once you get the certificate and you run the program, you have a valid certificate. The email that came with that has got your username and your password.
That's in that last box.
That's in that blue box right there.
Oh, the blue box.
In the blue
Okay.
box.
So the TQ6 file is what you're talking about?
Make 10 copies of that email and put them in 12 different places that you can remember at least one of. That is the voice of experience.
In a fireproof vault,
That too, if you can remember how the combination to get in.
Give it to a neighbor.
What you do over here, when you click on the EQSL and you click on the LoTW option, your LoTW username from that email, the LoTW login password from that email, the LoTW station location that those contacts were made from. And this is the address that this thing thinks this TQSL software is located in. That's not right because it's in the program files 86 subdirectory. Do not, and I'll explain in a little bit, but I'm going to start with do not check the enable real-time upload. When it's enabled, the QSO log from AC log's main menu will immediately be uploaded to LoTW when you press enter to log the contact. I did that once for a week, and I turned it back off, and I wish I could take that box off of the phone. Because in that week, I put more bad QSOs in LoTW than I had in the last 3 months, because when you hit the enter to log the contact, it says boom,
It's gone.
it's gone. It's there. Done, finished. You can correct your file, your entry in your log, and send it again, and it creates an LoTW another entry. It does not
correct the
overwrite.
Doesn't override it.
It does not overwrite. That's part of the security process. That's the part of the security process I don't like. So that's why you don't want to do that. So we've got this set up. I've made 10 contacts today. I want to send them to LoTW. All the other contacts in my log have already been sent to LoTW. I click on this box that says all contacts not uploaded. It looks at my log, it finds these 10 contacts, and it creates a file and it shoots them right on up. It creates that TQ8 file it was talking about. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. One click, and those contacts have left the building. When you start, you can click entire log, or you can click all contacts not uploaded. It'll be the same thing the first time you click the button.
Is there any kind of an indication in your records that tells you it's been uploaded?
I'm gonna
Color
get-
codes it.
I'm gonna get there in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I can log into it.
So I click done, and I come back over here, and let's say I had 1, 2, 3, 4 files that have no indication. I say, what happened there? I just said that stuff, LoTW has not processed it yet. Probably. Like I said earlier, there's a minute or two or three. I forget how many users, multiple thousands of users, are all sending log files up.
Especially after a contest.
Yeah.
On field day, after a big DX, international DX weekend contest, the delay might be 4, 6, 8 hours.
Well, the only reason why I was
I'm
making the comment was that, let's assume you make a contact, okay, and the other person does not upload theirs to the logbook.
I'm going there.
Okay,
I'm going there.
okay.
So right after you send it up, you come back, there's no indication. All right, we go back. I can click right here, or I can click right here, and I'm not going to because this would connect to my, well, I don't have all of my call up there, it wouldn't connect. I can click right here, and I can go back to 125, and I can click OK. It's going to look in LoTW at everything that has been confirmed or that I've uploaded since 125. And when I do that, if that contact has been uploaded, it will come back with an A. This is sent confirmation, this is received confirmation.
Okay.
And for those of you who are looking at this and saying, that don't look like my AC log screen, that's because it don't look like your AC log screen. Make it look like you want it to look. The default sucks, my opinion. I wanted to get some stuff so I could see.
But the fact you didn't see any L in the second column, that says that person either didn't send in their,
He's either not on LoTW or he has not sent his report in. And some people, I'll upload every hour or two. If I'm sitting there actively, I'll upload, I get 20 or 30 contacts, I'll hit the upload button. I mean, it takes 5 seconds and you go back, and I'll come back and I'll make another 2 or 3 contacts. Give that process time to go through up at headquarters. And I'll go back and I'll click the download all since. And I'll see the L's come up this column. And I'll see 2 or 3 L's right here because there's some other folks that have been as prompt as I have. And I can look in my log and go back to 2015. And down there at the bottom, there are still blanks right here where people are not using LoTW. But this
that would mean also you couldn't get credit for that call towards your DXCC
That's right.
or that kind of.
That's right.
Not on LoTW. Yeah, I was gonna, just like,
That's the guy, if he's over in Ponok Holler in the middle of Africa and it's a contact you really want, that's when you load some green stamps in the envelope and you hope the post office will get them to him.
Okay, now,
And you use the card.
okay, you
For that
use the card, you can update this through, a proof of a card or something like that?
You have to get the cards.
Another story.
You have to get the cards done separate. If I get a card, and I forget which one did I click on. If I get a card from this guy, I come right here and I click that And it puts a C right there, says, I got a card from him.
Ah, okay.
If I send to this guy a card, QSL sent,
Mhm.
I sent him a card.
Okay.
Don't go into the third option,
Now,
So-
will the ARRL then accept that LC as they don't use it?
You got a
You fill out your
card checker.
your LoTW stuff, and we didn't get there. It's late enough.
All right, don't worry about it.
Where we're not going to do that tonight.
Okay, that's good.
My goal was to get you to the point you can install this and you can start using it with AC log. You guys, young guys, folks that have started using this are thinking about questions.
I don't want to sound snotty, but it sounds like it'd be easier to have you come over to my house and set me.
It's 3 trips.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's
It's
definitely gonna be
3 trips. Tommy and I know.
okay? He said young guy, you don't call.
All right.
Now,
There's one other thing that I committed to a couple of folks to show.
why don't you have your 4th grandchild on there?
I hadn't got them all together.
Photoshop.
I'm coming to right here, and I'm gonna click on the switch user button. All right.
That means you're signing out of Windows, you're gonna sign in another user.
Actually, once you have this program set up, it's very easy to use and be around in.
Yeah. This is what I've gone through tonight is the I don't understand why it's this way presentation. We did field day 2 or 3 years ago when we didn't do field day as a group with Tommy and Bernie at my house. Right now it says I'm logged on. They can tell me to log off, and I can tell Tommy to log on. Tommy's got a whole different set of directories and programs and data and files that he can access in his logon. So if there's one of these that says John, and there's one of these that says Cherie,
That's how you use the same computer.
Yeah, it's like having 2 separate computers.
and it's like having 2 separate computers.
But it's one computer.
All right. I'm done.
I have a